Good morning, and thank you for joining us for another Coffee with Tom and Joanne. I'm Joanne Toronto.
And I'm Tom Matthews. And today, Joanne and I are discussing why we attend broker tours on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So, Joanne, do you want to talk to the audience a little bit about why we attend broker tours?
Yeah, so broker tours are typically put on the first week when a home hits the market. And during the pandemic, these went away. So there weren't broker tours, there wasn't an opportunity to preview properties. But as brokers in the market, it's really important for us to go out each week and see as many of the properties that hit the market as possible, and especially focus on the ones that we may have specific clients in mind for them. So typically these happen on Tuesday or Thursday. There's something that's listed in the MLS so that we can see when they're happening. And it's just an opportunity like an open house on a weekend, but it's for brokers, right? And we just get the opportunity to tour the home on our own time. So Tom, why do you think sellers should have broker tours?
Well, Joanne, I think it's really important, particularly in communities like Concord, Lincoln, Carlisle, Wayland, when you're getting into more complex properties. When you're in a property, if you own a home that's 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 square feet, and you've hired a kitchen designer, and you've brought in custom cabinetry, and you have custom cabinetry, custom granite countertops, everything starts being custom. You want to have the brokerage community understand why your home is positioned and priced the way it is. And sometimes you can't get that level of detail just in the photos. And that's why I think broker tours are really important and why sellers need to have broker tours. Now, for a home, if you live in a home that's maybe a 1,500 square foot ranch, very modest, materials and so forth, you may not see the value in a broker tour because you're saying my house is normal. But even with a house like that, you may have an unbelievable setting, a great backdrop. And why it's important is that we get a lot of inquiries through our website, get a lot of inquiries through our social media campaigns. And when people contact us and ask us about a property, we want to be able to intelligently talk to a buyer about a home. And being able to tour it and have the broker tell us about the properties is so helpful, especially in light of lockboxes. Because Joanne, like when we show houses with lockboxes, we're there by ourselves. What can a broker tour do to you on a Thursday to prepare you for the weekend when you're on a showing with a lockbox?
Yeah, so let's say, for example, we're previewing a house because we have a great buyer that we think is a good fit for it. Going to the broker tour, we will get the scoop from the listing agent, any details that we need to know about the seller or any details that we need to know about the property, the condition of the property, maybe some issues or features that may not be as, pertinent to the naked eye. They could have, we have a listing right now where they did closed cell foam insulation inside the walls, and you would just never know that was there without being told that it was there. And it's a nice feature to have, makes your house very, very weather oriented. And so those details can sometimes be lost in just a typical showing. But the broker tours are also an opportunity for Tom and I to be out and chatting with agents in the market, asking them questions about, the activity that they're getting on other listings or other properties that are under contract right now, talking about challenges that they're seeing with their clients. It's a great opportunity for information sharing. And I think that is possibly quite as valuable as seeing the property, is being able to get a sense of how other people are coping with different things happening in the market. So just to give you an example, last year when we had, rising interest rates, it was a week-to-week thing. We were just chatting with other agents, trying to get a sense of what they were hearing from their clients. And then we can kind of make educated decisions with our clients based on the information that we have.
No, and it's also helpful too, because when you bring a buyer to a property, you've now seen this property for a second time. The broker knows you know the property, and it builds rapport with the brokers because the market's shifting. There's no doubt about that. Markets are always shifting. And as markets continue to shift, having relationships with the brokers in the community can be a huge benefit to the buyer client. Just this past week, Joanne had an offer accepted, and the broker said to her, There are two other offers very similar to your offer, but I told the seller we want to work with you because I know you have an excellent reputation, and I'm confident that you'll get the deal to a closing table. And that is tremendously valuable for both sellers and buyer clients of ours. And that's another, intangible reason about why in our business plan, we have it scheduled to go to broker tours every single week.
All right. Well, I think this was a great conversation about broker tours and why they're important for buyers, why they're important for our sellers, and why they're important for us and our business as real estate agents. So I want to thank you for joining us for today with another edition of Coffee with Tom and Joanne. I'm Joanne Toronto.
And I'm Tom Matthews. Cheers.